Welcome to a Mindful Trader webinar, and this is going to be on market cycles and how to spot what cycle we're in, and what to do with that information and how we can use that to advantage with supply and demand levels, right? And it all just it just adds a bit more of extra confirmation to knowing what to be looking for and what market is currently doing, right? So let's get started off. First, I'm just going to show you something. So this is a market cycle PDF, and an image. And basically there's two phases in the market cycle: accumulation phase, then we have the move up, reaccumulation, move up, and then distribution phase happens when we tap into a supply level, and then we move down, redistribution, then move down, and then so it's just always moving from one demand level to a next supply level, right? And vice versa. So at a demand level, we accumulate, right? And then we have a move up, we reaccumulate, move up, and then once we get to that supply level, the distribution phase starts, and then move down, redistribution, and move down. This is something I learned from my friend Alex, Swedish Pips, and it's actually it really helps with knowing what market's going to be doing, right? So, and that's one of the reasons we figured out why GJ was about to go up this week, right after consolidating. So let's start from, let's start here. So we know that there's this level, right? It was consolidation, right? So this is your distribution phase, and then price broke down, right? Continued down. Then we have a redistribution phase here from June till August. You see daily time frame was in the redistribution phase, and then we have the move down, another move down, until we tap into a demand level, okay? And we'll see where that demand level is from. Just one second, I'm gonna grab a sip of water. So see, distribution, move, redistribution, move. And then, so the accumulation phase starts once we tap into a demand level or a support, right? And as you can see, this area from here on the daily, I'm just gonna move it here, see this strong demand area. We tapped into it, right? It tapped into it, and it lined up with fundamentals perfectly here too, because this was a time where Theresa May was stepping out of the office and Boris Johnson was coming in. So market had this optimism, the pounded optimism. Essentially, this was the accumulation phase, right? Or is accumulating, push up. Then this would be like your reaccumulation phase, and then push up. And then here, another reaccumulation. And then we pushed back up. Where did we push into? This level is a solid supply level, right? So if we extend this out, or even a bit higher, right? Tapped into supply. Tapped into supply, and what happens after we tap into supply? Distribution phase starts, right? So now we're in a distribution cycle. And let's see that actually. So that tapped right there, and then daily began its distribution phase, right? And you can trade, obviously we can trade within this, right? Because this is from 144 to 140. So it's 400 pips, right? Up, down, up, down. But see, it's these cycles. Now, once we broke out, this is our move down, right? After we tapped into supply up here, move down. And then we have a next redistribution phase here. We can even extend this down, move down. And then we eventually fall into the demand level from before. And over here as well, right? So we're at those right now. And then as you can see, price pushed up. And then we reaccumulated. And then push up, right? So you see what I'm trying to say? It's that these cycles, they happen in the market, so we can be aware. And then let's fast forward to current GJ, right? Current GJ was the same level of distribution where we were, So this was technically still an area of supply, right? So if we were to come back up and we found supply here, market was going to start a redistribution cycle, right? And prior to coming up, we were seeing bullish momentum. So accumulation, reaccumulation, push up, reaccumulation, push up, reaccumulation, push up in the supply. And then if we go into 4 hour, when 4 hour tapped into the supply, it began its distribution cycle, right? This area right here. I can change this if it's, So this area right here, right, broke down. We broke past this low, key market structure, retested, right, and below here too. So this was the redistribution, push down, another redistribution, push down, right? And then look where we pushed into. We pushed into a demand level at 133. We had this from before, daily level, right? So once we pushed into that demand level, we found demand. So now you see the cycle start changing up. Now we went from this to accumulation at demand, right? Accumulation right here, right? Push up, accumulation again now. And now where can we go? Our next supply level is up here, right? So you see these cycles, like market is very cyclical, up, right? So it's just, you can look at it, it is periods of consolidation, and order flow generation, but you see how it switches up as soon as we tap demand, switches up as soon as we tap supply, right? So it's good to have, and that's how I knew that we were going to go up, because look, we're getting these higher lows. So market is an accumulation cycle. After tapping into our demand level, we had their push up. Now we have a reaccumulation phase. And if we can break past this high and stay above here, then we can head up to this supply level, right? And then maybe we'll do something like reaccumulate here, break this, and then go up to the supply, major supply level there. Or we might find, and then start the next cycle, right? So this also works in lower time frames, but this is just how the market moves. Like, look here, we found before, if we look on daily, we found, I'm just gonna move this down. We found demand here, right? After market. So this area here, what's the reasoning for this over here? Drag this out, bro. Drag this out. It's still a valid supply level, right? Broke down, it's a resistance, supply level. So when we tapped into it, initially this was our distribution phase here, right? Push down, redistribution, broke below this low, push down, more redistribution, right? Push down. Now we push down into that daily supply demand level over here. And then we went from being in a distribution phase to now being in an accumulative phase, right? Accumulation, push up, more accumulation here, push up, right? A little bit more accumulation, push up, and then accumulation at this level, and then eventually we pushed up to there. So you see it's very cyclical, pushed up to supply, and then it changed up again. And then we pushed into demand here. Although price didn't come down here, found demand at 133.0, and then the accumulation cycle started. And then we pushed up. So can push up, right, and do that, or push up, find supply, right? Something like that. So you're getting the gist of it, right? This is very nice on GJ, right? It's just cycles, market cycles. So even if, like, let's say price was to come down here, maybe it would do something like, 4 hour or like daily would have had like comes down here, and then we accumulation cycle, right? So just got to be watching, and this, it's just how time frames work, how market works. It's just market cycles, and they're all cyclical throughout every time frame, right? So you see the difference. But yeah, let's check out GBPCAD as well, and we'll go over that. So GBPCAD, we know there's a supply level here, oops, I think I said wrong. Well, there's a supply level right here, right? So if we were to tap into it, we are coming down from like, sorry, a demand level here. We were at supply before, and we'll go over that too. So there are two major supply and demand levels, right? So we came down from supply and we tapped into our demand level here. Once we tapped into our demand level, we can go into lower time frames if this makes it easier. Accumulation began, right? And then pushed up, more accumulation. This was a bit more bigger accumulation. And see this happening between key levels, push up, and now we're in another period of reaccumulation. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it still makes sense. It's just trying to explain you the market cycles and why market does this, right? And then we're at this daily level right now. And then when you line up with market structure, we're at this daily level. If let's say daily breaks this, right? Because now look, we're creating higher lows. We're in an accumulation market cycle, right? Let's say daily breaks this, maybe we'll reaccumulate here, push up, reaccumulate, push up, push this supply first, and then we'll see what happens, right? And then overall, maybe we can get up here. So, and then maybe so the same thing will happen, push down, right? So distribution starts up at supply and accumulation starts at support or demand. But you see how it is, it's just waves, right? And this just puts it into perspective of what phase in the market, what cycle we're in, right? And this is the same for all. It's just not one pair or two pairs, right? It's for every, like, it's just how the market moves. It's market psychology. Let's look at GA. So GA, we have this daily demand level here. We can even increase it. So we have this daily demand level over here, right? Price came down to it. 1 second. Well, let me just highlight this supply level up here. So price was at supply, had a strong distribution phase at supply, pushed down, and then throughout while pushing down an intraday, more distribution, redistribution phases, right, which also pullbacks to key levels, and then we tapped into our demand level, right? And then you see market structure starts shifting, right? Now we're in, and if we go into lower time frames, you can see this as a accumulation, right? Retest, sorry, not retest, higher lows. Then we had the push up here. Then we got some more reaccumulation here. Broke up, retest, continued up. Got some reaccumulation and then pushed up, right? And this is interesting because we actually have a level of supply within this range, within this distribution phase, right? And that was right here. So this was very good because we saw a perfect example of GA live in action, changing up cycles. So see, accumulation, reaccumulation, push up, reaccumulation, push up. Now we tapped supply. Now what's going to happen is price is going to change up its cycle, right? Because that's what happens when we find supply and it starts changing. So now, see, same thing happened here. So essentially we found supply. This was your, and we'll go into lower time frames now. This is your distribution cycle in the beginning of tapping into supply, right? Push down, 1 second. Close below this key level here, right? And when it lines up with market structure, amazing, right? Redistribution, consolidation, push down, close below market structure here, redistribution, push down, right? So you see, went from accumulation, reaccumulation, push up, reaccumulation, push up, reaccumulation, push up, to tapping into supply. Now it's shifting into the distribution phase of the markets, right? So we got redistribution, push down, right? And then maybe this was just a retest, but you see how lower time frames also when we reacted to the supply level, lower time frames started its distribution phase. Doesn't mean that we're in a daily distribution phase or daily downtrend, but it just means that lower time frames did react. Price did react to supply, and then see a cycle change, right? And did this from, right? So change up, right? And that's where we're, it's these little things that help us see what cycle the market's in, right? And it can just be added as confluence to what we're looking for. But yeah, and these are just something that I've been experimenting with and haven't learned about it too long ago, but it's definitely something that's worth knowing because you can master a pair, but you need to understand the very basics of how the markets move and why the market's moving this way, right? Like below this accumulation, there's liquidity for buys, right? Even here, below here, there's liquidity for buys, right? So you got to understand why the market does things like this. It's market, how the market moves, it's market cycles, right? And it can be very useful. So we saw the change up in GBPAUD, how it went from accumulation, reaccumulation, and then tapped into supply, then distribution phase started, right? And even here, look, when we're close to supply demand, although we didn't tap it exactly, this is your accumulation phase, and we can go into lower time frames right there. Accumulation phase, right? And then we had a push up, then reaccumulation phase here, push up, and then we pushed into supply, right? Oops. We pushed into supply up here. So just major supply demand, and then those cycles you understand. But yeah, this is a pretty cool webinar. So thanks for watching. And it's a very quick explanation on market cycles. Hope it was helpful. Send charts if you want, but you see, it's how we went from downtrend to going up now. And imagine the amount of people that were still like selling over here when they had no idea that, okay, cycle is changing up now, right? We've tapped a nice demand area. Now we can start the accumulation process, push up, reaccumulation, push up, right? There's probably a bunch of people, bro, who were in sells up here because they were like, oh, we're in a downtrend, but they don't realize that GJ has been showing us higher lows, and the fact that we're at 133.00 demand level, that we're gonna go up, right? But yeah, it's these little things that you got to pay attention to and know. And you got to know the very basics of how the market moves, especially. Okay.